Can I admit something to you? I've been becoming much more comfortable saying three words that I used to avoid. I don't know. Years ago, those words felt like failure. I thought if I was going to teach, coach, or even create content that I needed to have all the answers. Now, I think exactly the opposite. The more that I've learned, the more I realize that there's so much that I don't know. How much I don't know. And strangely enough, that's become one of the most liberating discoveries I've ever made. We live in a culture that expects instant opinions. Everybody's supposed to have an instant opinion. Something happens, and within minutes, everyone is expected to have some type of position on it. They're supposed to pick a side. Social media asks, what do you think? News programs ask, what's your reaction? Friends ask, whose side are you on? And if you respond with, I haven't looked into it enough yet, people almost act like you failed some kind of a test. But maybe that's actually the best answer, the wisest answer. One thing that's fascinated me over the years is that the greatest thinkers that I've read rarely sound arrogant. Whether it's philosophy, history, science, or psychology, the people that I respect most usually write with a surprising amount of humility. They recognize complexity. They acknowledge uncertainty. They admit limitations. And that stood out to me because the people who know the least often sound the most certain. Meanwhile, the people who've spent decades studying a subject usually speak with a little more caution. I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, think about how many times you've seen an interview or something like that where a layman would be talking to a lawyer, say a lawyer that's been a lawyer for 20 years, and will cut them off and overtalk them and present like they know more about the topic than the person that they're interviewing. And I thought about that. Let's be honest, certainty feels good, it feels stable, it feels comfortable, safe. When you're certain about something, you don't have to wrestle with the difficult questions. You don't have to reconsider your assumptions. You don't have to admit that you might be wrong. But here's the trade off: certainty often closes the door to learning. Curiosity is what keeps that door open. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you probably noticed something. I ask a lot of questions, and that's intentional because questions are what keeps me learning. And one of my favorite questions has become, what am I missing? Not, how do I prove that I'm right? Not, how do I win this argument? But simply, what am I missing? I can't tell you how many times that question has changed the direction of my thinking. I've also learned that there's a huge difference between confidence and certainty. I'm confident that pursuing truth matters. I'm confident that integrity matters. I'm confident that thinking clearly matters. But on thousands of individual issues, I'm still learning. And I hope I always will be. Because the day I think I figured everything out is probably the day that I stop growing. Building Black Logic Media has forced me to slow down. When you're creating documentaries, you just can't repeat what you heard. You have to investigate, read primary sources, compare authors, look at conflicting evidence. Sometimes you discover that your original assumption was right. Sometimes you discover it wasn't. And both outcomes are valuable because you move closer to reality. So here's something I would encourage you to practice. The next time someone asks you about your opinion about a topic that you really haven't studied, try saying, I don't know enough about that yet. See how it feels. You might be surprised. Instead of making you look uninformed, it often communicates something much more important: intellectual honesty. And I think that's becoming a rare quality. One of the goals I have for this channel isn't to become someone with all the answers. It's to become someone who is always learning in public, because maybe that's what real education looks like. Not pretending that we've arrived, but inviting other people to keep growing with us. And if we can do that, I think we'll be better thinkers because of it. What do you think? Thanks for stopping by. Spend a little time with me today. I'll see you on the next conversation.